we know we can do something that would have prevented this, raising the age, making sure that the age at least gives us a chance to work with that person, see and evaluate and have a little maturity to them. And the second thing is that we know that the red flag laws do work as long as there's due process.
So you think raising the age from 18 to 21 for all gun purchases?
Well, it's where it is everything except for rifles and long guns right now, or if it's just for these high capacity weapons. Whatever they want to do, I'm open to doing something that makes sense.
Why do you think people even need an AR-15? Do people need one?
I mean, you have to ask the people that do. I never thought I had a need for that type of a high capacity automatic weapon. And I like to shoot. I like to go out and hunt. I like to go out sports shooting. I do all of that. But I've never felt I needed something of that magnitude.
Okay, so that is Senator Joe Manchin implying that he's very reasonable on this topic of gun control, and he is willing to be a part of the solution in the Senate. These common sense things, raising the age, red flag laws, all of that, making it more difficult for people to buy the sorts of guns that they so frequently go for in these sorts of mass shootings. Now, I remember quite a bit about him and guns, and so in a little bit, we're gonna turn to what he has communicated about the Second Amendment in the past. For now, though, Jessica, I know that we all want to hope that the Senate is going to do something, and we obviously would need people like Joe Manchin to not oppose gun control measures. What do you think about the possibility of something actually being accomplished?
I'm pessimistic that Manchin is already echoing the right-wing talking point that there needs to be due process with red flag laws, because there's due process built into red flag laws. Also, these same people that are complaining about red flag laws violating due process in some way were nowhere to be found when we were having a conversation about stop and frisk in the Fourth Amendment. And now we have precedent. Ohio versus Terry v. Ohio, the Supreme Court case, could be used now as a precedent with red flag laws, where you have to have a reasonable suspicion of wrongdoing before you search and seize anything from a person. That same due process can apply to red flag laws now, thanks to the precedent set, because people wanted to stop and frisk civilians on the street. And so I think it's a problem that Manchin's already talking about red flag laws potentially violating due process. I'm not super optimistic, because we could see by the end of them drafting a new bill, we could see Manchin say, well, they've added something and now I no longer support this, which is a classic Manchin move.
100%. That's what worries me, because in the past, look, maybe there's been an evolution. Maybe there's been an evolution because it's the mass shootings recently have been so horrible, and that has gotten through the thick layer of coal crusted around his heart. I don't know, but I know how he has tried to appeal to his voters in the past. I want to show you a couple of his ads from back in the day, including this.
I'm Joe Manchin. I approve this ad because I'll always defend West Virginia. As your senator, I'll protect our Second Amendment rights. That's why the NRA endorsed me. I'll take on Washington and this administration to get the federal government off of our backs and out of our pockets. I'll cut federal spending, and I'll repeal the bad parts of Obamacare. I sued EPA, and I'll take dead aim at the cap and trade bill, because it's bad for West Virginia.
So Joe Manchin got a little bit of criticism for that back in the day. That did not stop him from doing it again. Take a look at this.
That's me, shooting the cap and trade bill, because it was bad for West Virginia. Hey, I haven't changed. I might be a few years older, but I'll still take on anyone that messes with West Virginia. Now the threat is Patrick Morrissey's lawsuit to take away health care from people with pre-existing conditions. He is just dead wrong, and that ain't gonna happen. I'm Joe Manchin, and I approve this message, because for me, it's all about West Virginia.
Yeah, that's me, in case you missed that. I haven't changed. I still believe that political ads should have a lot of gun imagery, and anything you don't like politically, you should shoot. And if anybody messes with West Virginia, I'll take them on. I'm not normalizing political violence or anything. I'm literally pointing a rifle at the person filming the ad I'm doing right now. But all this is totally normal, and he's a very reasonable person when it comes to guns, Jessica. That is the only point that I'm trying to make.
Yeah, I think it's funny. The ad is just it's so well said. I'm gonna take away the bad stuff from Obamacare. It's like, what a very specific argument, Joe.
He's a child.
What bad stuff? Like, that's all he's got to say to convince people. And I think what's funny about this ad is when the paper bill just like flies up, you can see all of the holes in the cardboard, suggesting it took very many tries for him to actually hit the center.
Exactly. Jesus. It's just so like, yeah, he's gonna be our savior. Maybe he will. I can't wait to be wrong. I think that would be awesome, but kind of doubt it.